Hey, welcome. We just saw The Martian, and we're going to talk about The Martian movie right now, and this is the spoiler-free review. And so, if you haven't seen the movie and you want spoiler-free, stick right here. We also did a spoiler review, and you can click the link below to see that. And as we get started, I just want to let you know, if I'm sounding a little weird, if I look like I'm grimacing a little bit, I got a wisdom tooth pulled yesterday, and it was especially a painful one. So, I'm dealing with that. But, you know, I'm here to work. So let's get to it. Kivan, what do you think of the movie?
Well, first of all, he's a warrior, right? I mean, most people be at home, oh, but he came out tonight. So.
Well, you notice the disparity.
Yes.
I'm dealing with it.
You're dealing with it, yes, indeed. So what did I think of The Martian? Actually, I actually really enjoyed it. It was surprisingly good. I looked at how long the movie was going to be, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be painful because of the length of the film, and we already kind of knew what was going to happen because we saw the trailers.
Yeah, speaking of spoilers, and we won't reveal what the trailer said in this review, but if you haven't seen the trailer, don't. Just go see the movie, because talk about spoilers. If you pay attention to that trailer, you pretty much know some key plot points to where when those plot points happen, an hour into the movie, you're like, I already knew that was going to happen. You could have just started the movie right here.
Yeah, and you know, in the spoilers, we're going to talk about that and a couple of ideas that you came up with. But as a standalone movie, I thought it was well cast. I thought it was well acted, well directed. Ridley Scott did a great job as usual. Amazing. You really, considering you had so little to work with in some ways, how entertaining it was.
I love movies about Mars. They're the kind of movies, even when they're bad, I'll watch them over and over, because Mars is so desolate, it's so lonely, it's so out there, so many miles away from Earth, that I love the struggle of it. And this movie definitely did capture. It gave you a lot of Mars, and that's what I did like about that. And it gave you a lot of that loneliness of the planet and that struggle, and it's. Obviously, there's going to be a comparison, I think, to the Tom Hanks Castaway movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
It had the same kind of feel.
Yeah, obviously different setting, but no, I get what you're saying. I thought it was well written in the sense that whoever, and I can't remember whoever wrote it.
And it was written as a book.
No, exactly. And you know what? Obviously, they took a lot of time to research. To make sure that the movie was bona fide, and it wasn't, oh, let's write this might have happened. I think they really actually looked at everything, and so therefore it was very entertaining in that aspect. And I found myself engrossed in the movie. I really was. I was actually shocked at how good it came out, you know.
It was definitely very entertaining. I would give it, though, as my letter grade, an A-. The only reason not a full A is because the suspense for me was lost because of the trailer. Not because of the movie itself.
I agree.
But because of that. And they did the same thing with Castaway back in the 90s.
Yeah, they did.
When that movie came out, the trailer spoiled that movie too.
Yeah, and I think if you hadn't watched the trailer, I think it would have been a little bit more suspenseful. But nonetheless, I thought they really built it well. I thought some of the things that we'll talk about in the spoilers, they really did those things well, and I think it was very entertaining from that. And there definitely was times when, you know, little welling in the eye there. So you gave it an A-. I'm going to give it 8.7 out of 10.
So B+ almost. If you're going at it that well, okay, but you just stick with your numbers, because that's a totally different scheme.
I definitely like 8.7.
So 8.7 A-. Now, what'd you think about the special effects? And in fact, this movie is available in 3D. We saw it in 2D.
Correct.
How'd you like seeing the special effects?
I thought they were very good without seeming like they were special effects. You know, I didn't feel like I was watching a blue screen or a green screen. So I thought everything, it just felt real. Actually, to be honest, I felt it was like a true story, and it was almost like a documentary of it, you know. I felt if... We'll probably find out that some guys have been up there for 4 years anyway, right? And it was based on his life story.
I was telling Van, I was like, we should go out and interview people walking down the street and tell them it was based on true story. And they, I bet like 1 out of 4 would believe it. But, it did have that.
It did.
As I was watching it and got, an hour into the movie, the things that were happening were movie level excitement, but they felt real.
Right, and
from beginning to end, and that did give it a very documentary feel.
But it was great for the big screen, wasn't it? I mean, the fact that we watch it obviously at the movie theatre, but you get that massive screen and you really feel like you're actually there. And sometimes you felt like you were actually in the spacecraft, So I thought it was pretty amazing the way they did it. Ridley Scott, he's done some amazing movies, some of my favourite movies actually. And I thought this was a great job there, Matt.
Now, the cast. Matt Damon, first of all, he had to carry this movie. How do you think he did?
I thought he did great, actually, and to lose the weight that he did, obviously, and you're going to see that later in the movie, so I don't want to do too many spoilers, but
because he had to change from beginning to end. Do you think he brought it?
Yeah, I do. He's not my overall favourite actor in the world, but I thought, who else would you have cast for it? There wouldn't have been many, really. I thought he did well. He was humorous when it needed to be. He was, fearful when he needed to be. I thought he did it very well. Yeah. I think he definitely carried it.
He was definitely, without being too spoilery, he was definitely optimistic throughout the movie. Yeah. And in a way, I think how I would be or how most people would be, they probably wouldn't be. But when you think of a NASA astronaut, though, they are a different cut above the rest. So I thought that made sense. Like in some of his ingenuity and optimism throughout the film would seem a little bit hard to believe if he wasn't a NASA astronaut, though. And NASA astronauts, I mean, we see like the Apollo 13 mission. Right. They get things done.
Well, the other thing is, and I'm not going to give away what he does, but I think the fact that that was his forte probably made it more real for that person. Had it been someone with different skills, they probably would have been dead, to be honest, early on in the movie, and it would have been gone. But the fact that he was who he was made it, the 2-hour window, definitely.
And the rest of the cast, how'd you like the supporting character?
I really enjoyed him, actually. Yeah, I thought Jeff Daniels did a nice job as the NASA chief. Contrite, a little bit awkward at times, but I liked him.
I kept thinking Dumb and Dumber.
Well, no, initially I did, and then I kind of got lost into him.
What scared me, and this isn't too much of a spoiler at all, but at one point he's talking behind a podium, and it has the presidential seal on it. And I'm like, oh my god, are they saying Jeff Daniels is the president? Because you don't really know his character yet, And I'm like, Jeff Daniels the president, really? But he's not the president in the movie, but he was speaking at the president's podium. But that kind of scared me a little bit because I was thinking Dumb and Dumber.
Well, and I've been watching him in another show that he's done on one of the other channels where he plays in the News Week, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
And so I've kind of got...
So you're seeing him more...
Yeah, and so I'm kind of used to him being a bit more serious. So, but I thought he carried it very well. I thought everybody in the crew...
I liked the Hispanic guy. I can't think of his name. He was in Ant-Man as well. He brings a lot to every movie he's in. And they keep him on the sidelines. Yeah. You barely see him, but I think that's part of his charm.
Yeah, I agree.
He's great at that comic relief in a movie like this that shouldn't have comedy. He brings it in a way that's palatable and good and believable. Right, and
I thought the captain, Johnson or whatever her name was, I thought she did a really nice job as well. No, I thought, everybody from the ground control, and I thought when they had the JLP, where they designed all this technology, they were geeky kind of people. I thought they cast it really well. It looked real. I mean, that's what you'd be expecting,
Yeah, they brought in too the black kid from the Community. He did a great job.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, you're not familiar with the Community show? He was the guy that came up... spoiler. Okay, we'll talk about him in the spoilers.
You can't say too
much. This is a live shot right here. So
exactly.
Anyways, the kid from Community's in it. He was perfectly cast, I thought, too. Brought a lot to it. And I just thought, the whole rest of the cast was very strong. That's one difference between this and Castaway, where... Castaway probably had, two main characters in the whole movie.
Right.
This movie, although there was loneliness and they conveyed that, and he was stuck and they conveyed that, they spent a lot of time with Matt Damon, there was a lot of other characters in this movie to enjoy.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you feel a bit awkward for an actor because they're not really carrying anything, you know. And sometimes they're deliberately awkward, but often they're not perhaps cast correctly. But I thought everybody in every position where it mattered was intrinsic to the movie. They definitely brought something to the table, you know. So I enjoyed it, and like I said, 8.7. I mean, I almost gave it a 9. I was almost there, and I thought, man, I'm gonna hold back just a bit.
And like, even if it wasn't for the trailer, I would still give it an A-, just because, without being spoilery, and we're going to jump into spoilers right now in a second, but without being spoilery, there's not a hell of a lot of tension throughout the movie anyways for me, just because you can kind of figure, like, you're not going to build a whole movie around this.
Yeah, I think, and without spoiling it, we probably would have written it a little different, but that's we're not Hollywood, so we're not going to tell you how to write movies.
But anyways, let's get to the spoilers right now. If you want to see spoilers, click the link below, and we'll get continued. So thank you very much for watching.